Picture this. You walk into your local auto parts store, grab what looks like the right engine oil for your Toyota, and pour it in without a second thought. 6 months later, you're staring at a repair bill that could have bought you a decent used car. The mechanic shakes his head and tells you the engine's toast, full of sludge so thick it looks like chocolate pudding. Sound impossible? It happens more often than you think, and it's all because of one simple mistake Toyota owners keep making with their oil. Here's the truth. Toyota engines are legendary for lasting hundreds of thousands of miles, but that kind of reliability only happens when the oil inside matches what the engine was engineered for. These engines are built to incredibly tight tolerances. Every bearing, valve, and passageway is measured down to thousandths of an inch. Use the wrong oil and you're not just risking performance. You're setting yourself up for premature wear, overheating, or complete engine failure that could leave your Toyota dead in the driveway. Today, I'm breaking down the most dangerous engine oil mistakes that are secretly destroying Toyota engines all over the country. This video could literally save your engine. If you find this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future Toyota reliability tips. And tell me in the comments what model and year Toyota you drive. I see every comment, and I always like hearing from other owners. If you're part of a Toyota group online, share this video there too. It helps more people avoid the same costly mistake. Let's start with the first big one. Using thick oil when your Toyota specifically calls for thin oil. I see this constantly, especially from older Toyota owners who grew up thinking thicker oil means better protection. They'll pour in 10W40 or even 20W50 into an engine designed for 0W20 or 5W30. On paper, it sounds like a smart move. In reality, it's one of the fastest ways to kill a modern Toyota engine. Here's why. Modern Toyota engines aren't built like the old ones your grandfather worked on. These engines are precision machined, with tiny oil passages that depend on low viscosity oil to circulate fast, especially during cold starts. When you pour thick oil into a system designed for thinner oil, it's like trying to push honey through a coffee straw. It just doesn't move fast enough. And those first few seconds after startup, that's when 80% of all engine wear happens. If oil can't reach the top of the engine quickly, your camshafts, which control valve timing, are left running dry. That metal-on-metal friction grinds away at surfaces that were designed to last a lifetime. It gets worse. Thick oil forces your oil pump to work harder, putting extra strain on the system. The engine runs hotter, burns more fuel, and the oil itself breaks down faster under stress. I've seen owners swear they were protecting their Toyota by using heavy oil, only to end up with clogged oil passages, stuck timing components, and sludge so bad it destroyed the engine entirely. The worst part about this mistake is that it often seems to help at first. If your engine was making noise or burning a little oil, thicker oil might quiet it down temporarily. But you're not fixing anything, you're just masking symptoms while creating much bigger problems underneath. It's like putting duct tape over your check engine light and pretending the issue disappeared. Now let's move on to another critical mistake that's becoming far too common. Mixing different types of oil without understanding what you're actually doing. I'm not talking about the old myth that you can never mix synthetic and conventional oil. That's been debunked for years. Modern oils are fully compatible. You can safely mix them in an emergency. But here's the real danger: mixing oils with different viscosity grades or performance ratings. Here's how this usually happens. Your Toyota calls for 0W20 full synthetic. You're running low, stop at a gas station, and the only thing they have is 5W30 conventional. You figure oil is oil, so you top it off. What you've just done is create a blend that doesn't meet your Toyota's engineered requirements. The viscosity is now somewhere in between, too thick for smooth cold starts, and possibly too thin for proper hot weather protection. Even worse, different oils use different additive packages, detergents, anti-wear agents, friction modifiers, all designed to work in precise balance. When you mix them randomly, these additives can react unpredictably. Sometimes they cancel each other out. Other times they form deposits or sludge that clog oil control valves, choke Toyota's variable valve timing system, and cause rough idle or poor performance. The solution here is simple but requires a little planning. Always keep 1 quart of the correct oil, with the exact viscosity and certification Toyota recommends, in your trunk or garage. If you absolutely must use something different in an emergency, top it off just enough to get home, then drain and refill with the correct oil as soon as possible. Don't leave mixed oil in your engine long term. Now, let's talk about something that drives me absolutely crazy: judging oil by color alone. I can't tell you how many times a Toyota owner has shown me a dipstick with dark oil and said, "It's black, it must be bad." That's completely backward. In most cases, dark oil actually means it's doing its job. Modern Toyota-approved oils contain detergents and dispersants designed to clean the inside of your engine while you drive. They pick up carbon, microscopic metal particles, and combustion byproducts, keeping them suspended until your next oil change. That dark color is proof your oil is working, not failing. The color you should actually worry about isn't black. It's milky, foamy, or gritty oil. Milky oil often means coolant contamination from a failing head gasket, a serious issue that can destroy your engine if ignored. Foamy oil usually means moisture buildup from frequent short trips where the engine never gets fully warm. Gritty oil means the oil's overwhelmed with debris or metal wear, and it's time for an inspection, not just a quick change. Instead of judging oil by color, focus on consistency and smell. If it's unusually thick, syrupy, or smells burnt, you've got a problem. But clean, dark oil that looks smooth and feels slick? That's exactly what you want. This brings us to another mistake that's costing Toyota owners big money, using aftermarket oil additives that don't belong in these engines. Walk down any auto parts aisle and you'll see dozens of bottles claiming they can boost horsepower, stop oil burning, or extend engine life. Sounds great, right? The problem is, Toyota's engineers already designed your oil to do those things, precisely and in balance. Modern oils formulated for Toyota engines already include detergents, anti-wear agents, viscosity stabilizers, and antioxidants, all tested together in Toyota's lab engines for hundreds of hours. When you dump in an aftermarket additive, you're upsetting that balance. Some of these products thicken the oil beyond spec, starving your engine of proper flow. Others break down the oil's existing additive package, making a premium synthetic perform worse than bargain bin conventional oil. The most dangerous ones are those stop smoke or engine quiet additives. These can clog the tiny oil passages that feed Toyota's variable valve timing components. I've seen them ruin otherwise healthy engines by causing timing actuators to seize, creating rough idle, misfires, and even complete system failure. Now, here's something that surprises a lot of Toyota owners. Changing oil too often can actually do more harm than good. Many people still believe the old every 3,000 miles rule. That made sense decades ago when oils were primitive and engines ran looser. But today's Toyotas, combined with high-grade synthetic oils, are engineered for much longer intervals. Toyota's engineers didn't just guess those 10,000-mile service intervals, they ran thousands of hours of lab and real-world testing, measuring wear patterns, oil degradation, and additive performance. When the manual says you can safely go 10,000 miles on synthetic, that's based on data, not marketing. Changing your oil too early constantly resets the protective film that synthetic oil builds up over time. Those anti-wear additives and detergents need mileage to bond and stabilize. By changing it too often, you're never allowing the oil to reach peak protective performance. However, this only applies if you're using the exact oil Toyota recommends and driving under normal conditions. If your car calls for 0W20 full synthetic but you're using 5W30 conventional, you're no longer in that normal category. The same goes if you're towing, driving short trips, or in extreme heat or cold. Your intervals should be shorter. The key is simple. Follow the specifications for your exact engine and your real driving habits. Don't just go by what someone online says worked for their 2010 Corolla if you're driving a 2021 Tacoma hybrid. Each Toyota engine family has its own needs, and those details matter. Finally, let's talk about a habit that's becoming more common as Toyotas rack up miles, switching to thicker oil in high-mileage engines. I get the logic. If your car's burning a bit of oil or leaking past worn seals, thicker oil should stay put better, right? But in practice, this fix usually causes more problems than it solves. High-mileage Toyota engines, especially those with variable valve timing, depend on precise oil flow to operate correctly. When you jump to thicker oil, those narrow oil passages can't keep up. Camshaft timing actuators, oil control valves, and hydraulic lifters all need thin, fast-flowing oil to move freely. Starve them and you'll get rough idle, poor fuel economy, sluggish throttle response, and sometimes catastrophic failure of the timing system itself. Instead of masking symptoms with thick oil, it's always better to fix the root cause. Modern high-mileage oils already contain seal conditioners that rejuvenate worn seals without drastically changing viscosity. If your Toyota is burning oil, check for technical service bulletins first. Toyota often issues updates for known issues. Sometimes the cause is as simple as a leaking valve cover gasket or a hardened O-ring that costs a few dollars to replace. I've worked on countless Toyota engines where owners kept pouring in thicker oil to stop small leaks, only to clog vital oil passages and damage the timing system. The cleanup and rebuild for that mistake cost far more than simply repairing the original leak. And let's clear up one of the oldest myths out there: the idea that synthetic oil causes leaks in older engines. It's been floating around for decades, but it's completely false. In fact, it's the opposite. Quality synthetic oils actually help prevent leaks because they contain better seal conditioners than conventional oils. If a leak shows up after switching to synthetic, the oil didn't cause it, it revealed it. Synthetic oil's cleaning ability removes years of sludge that were temporarily sealing small cracks and gaskets. Once that grime is gone, the true condition of the seal is exposed. And that's a good thing. Now you can fix the problem properly instead of letting it stay hidden. The real enemy of older Toyota engines isn't synthetic oil. It's cheap, low-grade oil that barely meets minimum specs. Bargain oils break down faster under heat, have weak detergent packages, and lack the protective additives Toyota engines depend on. I've seen far more damage from people trying to save a few bucks with discount oil than from any synthetic oil issues. If your Toyota has over 100,000 miles, synthetic oil is your best friend. It flows faster during cold starts, resists breakdown under extreme heat, and keeps your internals far cleaner. The small extra cost per oil change is nothing compared to the added engine life you'll gain. Now let's talk about something every Toyota owner needs to understand: oil viscosity ratings. Those numbers on the bottle aren't just random, they're the result of thousands of hours of engineering. In 0W20, that first number, 0W, describes how the oil behaves in cold temperatures. The lower the number, the easier it flows at startup. The second number, 20, describes its thickness once the engine's fully warmed up. Toyota engineers select these ratings based on bearing clearances, pump capacity, and the precise tolerances in your engine. Even a 1-grade difference can affect performance and longevity. Oil that's too thin can't protect under heavy load or high heat. Oil that's too thick may not reach upper engine components quickly enough during cold starts. Climate matters, but not as much as many think. Modern multigrade oils handle a wide temperature range. If you live in Alaska and your Toyota calls for 0W20, don't switch to 5W30 because it's cold. The 0-watt rating is what makes it ideal for cold starts. Bottom line, Toyota didn't choose your oil spec by accident. They tested every possible combination to find the perfect balance of protection, performance, and efficiency. Deviating from those specs is gambling with your engine's life. If this video's been helpful so far, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. It helps me keep creating reliable, no-nonsense Toyota advice for owners like you. And if you know someone in a Toyota group or forum, share this with them. One video like this can literally save an engine. Now, here's a tip that might save your wallet. Check your oil level regularly. Too many Toyota owners follow oil change intervals perfectly, but never check between changes. Even a healthy engine can consume small amounts of oil through normal operation, evaporation, or tiny leaks. Running low even once can cause damage no oil brand can prevent. Modern Toyota oil life monitors estimate oil condition, but they don't track oil level. You could have fresh, clean oil due for change in 5,000 miles, and still destroy your engine because the level dropped below minimum. Check it at least once a month, and always before long trips. It's simple. Let the engine sit 5 minutes after shutdown, pull the dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert, then check again. The level should sit between the marks, ideally near maximum. If you notice it dropping, don't just top it off endlessly. Find out why. Early diagnosis of valve stem seal or piston ring wear can save thousands later. And finally, the mistake that still drives me crazy: using the cheapest oil you can find. Some people figure oil is oil, but that's one of the fastest ways to kill a Toyota engine. Cheap oils use lower grade base stocks that oxidize quickly and can't withstand modern engine heat or pressure. They meet minimum standards on paper but lack the robust additive systems Toyota engines depend on. I've seen engines that should have lasted 300,000 miles fail before 150,000 because of bargain bin oil. Sludge builds up, rings stick, and oil passages clog, turning a bulletproof Toyota into a $6,000 paperweight. Meanwhile, I've worked on Toyotas with 400,000 miles that still run like new because their owners invested in quality oil from day one. Do the math. The difference between cheap oil and premium synthetic is maybe $20 per change. Over the life of your vehicle, that's a couple $100 compared to thousands for an engine rebuild. That's the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. But not every expensive oil is better. Marketing hype is everywhere. What matters is that the oil meets or exceeds Toyota's exact specification and matches your viscosity requirement, and you'll be safe. Before we wrap up, one last crucial point: the oil filter. It's just as important as the oil itself. Your filter traps the microscopic debris and metal that would otherwise circulate through your engine. But not all filters are created equal. Using a low-quality or incorrect filter can restrict oil flow or let contaminants slip through, undoing everything good oil is supposed to do. Look, I get it. Oil changes aren't glamorous, but they are the single biggest factor separating Toyotas that hit 300,000 miles from those that die before 150,000. Every mistake we talked about today is 100% avoidable if you simply follow Toyota's specs and resist the urge to out-engineer the engineers. Use the correct viscosity, stick with quality oil, check your levels. Don't fall for gimmicks. Your Toyota was built to last, and if you give it what it needs, it will. If this video helped you avoid an expensive mistake, hit subscribe so more Toyota owners can learn the same lessons. I see every comment, and I'd love to hear how many miles your Toyota has made it so far.